I think Jeff gave out the wrong ones. Here, I give one to Randy. Give one to Bill. Yeah, I've memorized it. Okay, we're on camera now. Going to call to order the, let me get my date right, June 11th, 2018 Transportation Committee meeting. Councilwoman Cazzo and Councilman Cagnolati are absent due to work, but we have the presence of Chairman Bill Dawson. Okay, I'll go with Mr. Dawson. Ken Dawson, if you'd lead us in the invocation, please.
Different prayer than
That's rough.
Okay. Father, your grace continues to shine upon us. Your love continues to abound us, O God, and we are grateful for all the things that you continue to do. We thank you, O God, for the ability to serve your people. But you often said, O God, in your word, that if you want to be great in your kingdom, allow you to be servants of all. As we come tonight, we again give you the thanks. We ask that you continue to watch over the people of Ascension Parish, that you continue to give us the wisdom, O God, to do the things that are necessary to be able to assist in mitigating any concern during this hurricane season, and that you even direct those things away from us, O God, so there will be no issue. Again, we give you thanks and glory for all the things you continue to provide. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mess that one up. One of them days.
good job.
I said, what? Did I say? No.
I got my mind elsewhere.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
Okay, we'll move on to the public comment period. If anybody would like to speak on anything, please fill out a form, bring it up. You have 3 minutes. Assume we'll have no other speakers. Committee chairman's report. One thing, I've discussed with, and this will be brief, I've discussed with our transportation department and some of the engineers that I've spoken with. So we have an issue with speeding in neighborhoods. We've talked about speed bumps, how that doesn't work. I know several other council members, not just the ones here sitting next to me, but all throughout the parish, have had calls about speeding and what can we do about it. So one of the things that I've talked to our transportation people about is coming back to the September meeting with some ideas, because we have, through our engineering firms, nationwide, maybe even global reach of solutions for people speeding through neighborhoods. We can't do speed bumps. We know the parish doesn't want to do that, and there are liability reasons and safety reasons for it. But there may be other alternatives that we can look at. I know we hear a lot about stop signs. I know Councilman Lambert's had requests that we couldn't do, and I've had requests that we couldn't do because they have to be engineeringly called for, I guess is the right term. So we want to explore something else that we can do. So putting everybody on guard, the September 2018 meeting, we're going to have a presentation on that to see some ideas, a discussion about how we can slow down speeders through neighborhoods. There have got to be some ideas out there that I know I certainly haven't been able to think of, but others may have. That's all I have for the committee chairman's report. Moving on to item number 5, acceptance of the minutes of the May 7th, 2018 meeting.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
We have a motion by Councilman Lambert, a second by Councilman Clorett. So moved. Number 6, roads to be considered for acceptance into the parish maintenance system as follows. I tell you, we'll do all of these at once instead of doing them individually. Speed things along. We've had a late night. If that's okay with you, Ricky.
That's fine. You want me to read them out, or y'all just?
Yeah, if you would just read them all out.
All right, Myrtle Grove Townhomes, Natchez Court, 414 feet. New River Oak Subdivision, Oak Run Drive, 1,360 feet. Meadow Lane, 322 feet. And we go to Galvez Trail Subdivision, Galvez Trail Boulevard, 725 feet. Fort St. John Street, 368 feet. Fort Jackson Street, 203 feet.
Do we have any discussion on this item?
One discussion. Rick, everything meets inspection?
New River Oaks, they have some surface cracks. It's in the notes that they got to go in. I've talked to the contractor. He said he'll have it done by the time the bond runs out next month.
I make the motion pending, few repairs that Ricky's
I'll second that.
mentioned.
We have a motion by Councilman Lambert. We have a second by Councilman Clord. Do we have any further discussion? Any objection? None, so moved. Moving on to agenda item number 7, modification to transportation impact fee ordinance. Jerome Fournier, please.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I passed out a handout earlier along with 2 maps that you have. Parish is the staff is considering a modification to the transportation impact fee program as it relates to the number of, to the streets or roads that are in the program. On the 2 maps, you'll see one dated impact fee 2017. Those are the roads that are currently in the program, all right? And you'll see those listed in red. On the impact fee map dated 2018, this is what we're considering, and I'll go over the main changes with you. Basically, when the program was started back when, I think the parish was first considering an impact fee program, there was consideration of approaching the city of Gonzales and Sorrento to see if they want to participate in the program, and apparently they have not. So what we did was pull the streets and roads that are in the city limits of Gonzales and within the township of, and you can see it's actually broadcast on the screen as well. Within Sorrento, we pulled those streets out. Also in Sorrento, if you'll notice, I think it's Highway 22 that goes from Airline all the way to the interstate. That's already been improved, so there's no reason to have that in the program anyway. Secondly, you'll see the same thing that occurred in the city of Gonzales with Highway 30 running through there, and also Burnside. We pulled those out. They were previously in the program. Another major role is Highway 42 in the very northern part of the parish. The section that goes from Airline Highway all the way to 44 was in the program, and the section that goes from 44 to the eastern edge of the parish was outside of the program. What we've done is flip-flop that, and we've taken the portion that's under construction right now, since it's already been funded, we're pulling it out of the program, and we're going to place the other portion that goes to the parish line into the program. All right? So these are some of the, and there are some other modifications. You'll see in the report that I gave you, I have a list of all the roads that are in the program along with the lengths, and it shows which ones are in and which ones are out. All right? So what happens when we pull program road segments in and pull them out? It actually modifies the fee. And so we're going to be doing a calculation. If you approve this tonight, we'll do a calculation that we'll bring to the council, and it'll show the fee modification, all right? Second thing that we'd like to do, and this is under staff suggested modifications on page 2 of the memo that I prepared. The parish president and I think you too, have probably been fielding a lot of phone calls from property owners that are doing minor modifications to their house. They're putting a mother-in-law unit in or something like that. And under the current code, they're subject to the fee, and it's quite expensive for some of these people. They're just putting in another unit for a family member, that type of thing. And what we'd like to do is exempt those type of people, give them a one-time exemption from the fee if the construction is less than 1,000 square feet, right? So I think that would cover most of the people that fall into that category.
Yeah.
So if you would agree with that, we would move forward on that, all right? Yeah. And on the third suggestion we have is that under the current code, it says that the transportation administrator will come to the council every year for cost of construction based on the engineering news record increase in cost of construction. This current year is 3.34. I'd like to delay that action. The code says that it will come to you and you'll adopt it by July of every year. I'd like to suspend that just temporarily until we can get the road network all straight based on these new roads that we're going to put in, and then we'll come back to you with the new fee structure, all right? So if you would agree to those modifications, I'll move forward, prepare the report, and recalculate the fee. If you have
Do we have
any
any
questions,
discussion?
I'll be happy to entertain them.
Make the motion.
We have a motion by Randy Cluart.
I second.
We have a second by Councilman Lambert. Do we have any discussion? Councilman Dawson.
Jerome, have you done, do you know is it gonna be less length of road or more length? Do you know which
It's
way it's
less.
gonna go?
We're
Is-
removing some of the roads, yes.
So the total,
So the fee will
Total
likely go
month.
down, right?
Okay.
The base fee will go down. Now, whether you approve the 70% allocation or like
Uh-huh.
you did last time
Right.
is up to council, obviously, but the base fee will likely go down based on that, all right? So-
okay. So I'm not clear about this, what, the mother-in-law addition, if you will, you're talking about a separate structure there?
Yeah,
Is that
be a
correct? It's a
separate
separate
structure.
structure that's 1,000 square feet or less?
Correct.
Are there any other, so it has to be on the same
It has to be connected.
piece of property?
It
or
has to be on the same
so it
piece
has
of
to be-
property.
It has to be on the same, and it has to be connected?
It,
Some form or fashion, it has to be connected.
right, right.
Okay.
Whether it's a
Yeah.
little porch or.
Yeah, but
Yep.
what defines, it's really defined as another dwelling unit, basically, because they have a kitchen, a bathroom, a living area, in some cases, another bedroom along with the living area. So we're limiting it to 1,000 square feet, which we think would cover that. So,
Okay.
yeah. Now, it has to meet the zoning code. So
Mhm.
if there's it can't be a separate unit if it's not allowed within the zoning code.
So I'm wondering about this, no, call it cost of living, whatever you want to call the Engineering News record, the increase in the cost, 3.3%. That's in an ordinance right now that says that we'll do that in July of every year. Am I correct about that?
That's correct, yes.
So what, I don't know, I mean, so how are you gonna relieve us of the responsibility of that ordinance?
Well, I'm asking you if you could provide a waiver to that. I mean, I can come by right now and give you the current
I
fee
think we'll
structure,
have to, I
and we
would
can
have to.
apply the 3.34%
Well,
to
I'm
the
not,
current fee
I'm not
structure.
that, I don't have an issue with the
Mhm.
the mechanics of it, but
we don't have
I'm
legal.
wondering about,
Legal.
you know, yeah, can we modify the effect of an ordinance through, by not passing another ordinance? Normally,
Okay.
or
Yeah, I don't
amending
think
it.
we can do that.
Well, I have to leave that to legal. I don't know the answer to that
Well,
one.
is there any chance that we could pass this through the committee tonight, and by time before it reaches
and then
council, we can get some kind of opinion on it?
if we need to introduce an ordinance,
Yeah,
then
if we
we'll have to do that.
introduce, then we'll have to go
I'll
through that.
contact O'Neill tomorrow on that and code.
Well, I'll make that motion. I'll
Yeah.
make a motion that, I guess you want to just do the 3.34? Is that all we need to,
We have one motion.
Already
Oh,
had a
I'm sorry.
motion for-
Motion on
Yeah,
top.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
keep track of things in this little brain of mine.
Yeah, we got a motion for this package. right
Yes.
Which
here.
includes,
With the three
Which-
requests on it,
that includes the 3%. And then
Well,
we
right there.
Okay.
just add that we need to clarify the, you
And
know,
that's-
legality.
I'll amend my motion, that, I'm asking that we pass it through committee,
Okay,
and that we will check with legal before it gets to the council.
okay. I'd be happy to
Will
do
this
that.
not go on the consent agenda then?
No.
No.
I'm just
No.
making sure that
This don't
we're all
need-
good with
This don't
that.
need to be on the consent.
Well, we need to
agenda.
put that in the
Yeah,
motion.
that's us.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
And I just got a quick statement to the little, if you call them mother-in-law suite or whatever you call them, and that we've had multiple hardship requests and all, where somebody's trying to stick a mobile home in their backyard, and we passed a lot of them. I've helped pass a lot of them. I'm saying, so if this is a viable option for somebody to be able to accommodate somebody that needs that, I appreciate that.
Well, again, it's limited to 1,000 square feet.
Right.
So if they're going to put a double wide back there, they're not going to be exempt.
I understand.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying this in lieu of them having to do that. Just
Right.
the ability to add, without
Yeah.
the
Okay.
fees.
Can
If
we
that,
get a-
if that's the reason.
I'm
Can
gonna,
we get an update on
Re-
the number of, the amount of fees we have?
oh yeah, it's, I'll read it out loud. As of this date, the West Bank has $56,040 in fees. The south portion of the East Bank has $1,555,651 in fees. And the northern portion of the East Bank has $3,583,215 for a total of $5,194,906 total dollars.
So I'd like to, if we have a second, to just, maybe Jerome can talk to us about the procedure for the allocation of that.
All monies that are collected within a particular area have to be spent in that area. So of the 56,000 that we've collected on the West Bank, mainly that was just a few building permits, and the bulk of that came from the farm supply store,
Tractor
actually, that
Supply.
was out there. The south portion of the East Bank, the 1.55 million, is to be spent on the south side. Now, we modified the boundaries on that, and
Right.
Councilmember Kluat asked that his entire district be placed in area
The
number
south.
2, all right? So that would cover any projects that are in there. The bulk of the money, obviously, and it's where the bulk of the developments occurred, has been in the Prairieville area, and that's where the money has been collected. So projects spent, money collected there have to be spent in that area.
So what I'm also trying to understand, are you you're the impact fee coordinator? I don't know what the title, what is that, the
It's the administrator.
administrator?
Yes.
So if that, to spend that money, does a request come from, from you, or how does, is there a
Well-
mechanism, is there a flow path for that?
There's no particular flow path per se, but I have been coordinating with Mr. Enlow and Mr. Daniel on projects that we've looked as being viable and where that money could be spent. One of the things that we're looking at, again, and I discussed this earlier, is having developers construct projects for us, and we give them credit against the fees. So we're not collecting fees from them if they go out and build a facility that's part of the program.
On a road in the network?
Yeah, we're doing one in your district right now, down 44, so,
Right.
yeah.
Question.
Councilman Lambert.
Jerome, maybe you can clarify too, because I had a couple of questions with some of the councilmen. At certain places, this money, this impact fee. Now, I ain't talking about the districts. I know about the districts.
Right.
But I'm talking about, it can't be where you have an existing problem you know of. This can only be where a new development, maybe turn lanes, new roads, or if this development requires a turn lane, you can use it for that.
Well,
But from what I was told by former 2 times ago when they tried to pass impact fees, Mr. Charles Landry, which is a attorney,
Mhm.
that a lot of people are misled that you can use this money anywhere. But you
Yeah.
can't.
no,
You can't use it to overlay a road that needs it right now, or just reconstruct it.
well, the number one, the funds can only be used on the roads that are on that map. And that's why we're modifying the map. So we want to make sure that we're including roads that really need improvements, right? So that's why we're pulling some out and putting some in, all right? Secondly, if there's a development project that's being proposed, let's say on Germany Road, and there's it's a requirement to do a right turn lane into that development, and it serves just that development for just ingress and egress out of that development, that is not an eligible program for impact fee money, all right? That's a development-related improvement.
That's right.
Because it's not really improving the overall, capacity of the road or relieving some of the traffic problems of the parish.
Okay, with
Yeah.
that, when you said capacity, which I'm glad you said,
Mhm.
widening a road.
Widening
That
the
don't
road
help.
is
That don't
certainly an
help
eligible
capacity.
expense.
It doesn't help capacity by
Widening,
widening the road. If you make a new road or extra lane, it might help you on capacity, but
Right.
not by just widening it.
right.
So would that fall where you could use that money on that particular?
Well, remember, widening the road in a lot of cases will increase capacity, but it also might reduce the level of service on that road, taking it down from a E to a D or D to a C or something along that range. And so
Well, I
that
know
is
it's a
certainly
safety
an
fa-
improvement.
But does the impact fees affect any safety? I thought it was more. new-
It's capacity driven, it's not
Correct.
necessarily safety.
That's why I want to
Right.
make that point.
Right.
Okay. That's all I got.
I'd
Councilman
like to
Dawson.
just clarify, it's my understanding when we set this up that if you're correct, has to stay in that zone, but it can be used on any road that's red on this map within that zone.
Yeah, but you gotta look at the laws of impact fees. It's a different law, is what I'm
But we
understanding.
set this one up differently than what it was previously. What it was previously proposed, we set it up differently to where,
I know, but impact fees in general, not the way we set it up, can only be used a certain way. This is coming from a national study. This is not just the way we set this map up.
Well,
Now, you need to look into that, because that's,
Well, I have to clarify that,
because this
Councilmember
came
Lambert,
from
because-
Charles Landry years ago.
Right.
When they tried to implement it, and there was only certain, if you know this road needs widened, or
Mm-hmm.
you know this road needs reconstructing, not necessarily you can use that impact money for that.
Right. Well, I'll say this way, I did a lot of impact feedback on the West Coast, and
Yeah, I'm saying y'all can, but I
many
was told we
states,
couldn't, so.
Texas, California, where I worked, Florida, that have impact fee programs, there's state legislation that provides the guidelines on how impact fee programs can be
Correct.
set up. We don't have that in Louisiana. So
Check
we
into it.
set this program up using our powers, a home rule charter, all right? And so that's why we basically set the rules up for this. Now, we have adhered by a lot of national guidelines on how to implement the program, and they're part of the report. But, there's no state legislation in Louisiana that says the impact fee programs have to be done this way, all right? So we have done that. We've spelled it out in our report. We think it's defensible, and we've been collecting fees based on what we've established. But, again,
The problem's not collecting, it's spending it.
I'm sorry, sir?
The problem's not collecting the impact fees, it's spending it the right
Oh,
way.
yeah, absolutely. And that's why we specified the roads that we can spend it on, right? So,
Just check in that for me and let me know.
I will, yeah.
Mr. Dawson? I'd just like to state that, we are collecting in the East Bank side of things at 70%, which means, based on my basic calculations, we've left $2.2 million on the table. And that's impact fee money that we've left on the table. If we were collecting at 100%, we'd have $2.2 million more dollars to do work on these roads that are in badly need of funding. But we have a motion and a second. Is there any objection, any more discussion? Any objection? None, so moved.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jerome. Moving on to number 9, Department Report, Mike Enlow. Oh, number 8, yes.
All right, good evening, committee. Okay, I wanted to start off with some of the parish projects here. Highway 3127 extension, which is over in, just outside the city limits of Donaldsonville on the West Bank. We've got a consultant that just turned in the draft evaluation report. If you all recall, they are doing an abbreviated NEPA process with that project and are going to get us final right-of-way maps, which is about 60% preliminary plans when you're talking about highway projects. They gave us, I think it was 4 choices of alignments, 1, 2, 3, and 3A. Alignment 3 was chosen. Just informed the consultant of that today. They're going to begin their topo survey and subsurface utility engineering based on that alignment immediately, and they are on schedule to submit their final right-of-way maps by December 8th, which is, again, their final deliverable for this project. Any questions on that?
thank you, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
2017.
Councilman Clark has a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you want to, you still reporting? I was going to ask
Shoot.
something else. Go ahead, continue.
Yes, sir.
I got something further down.
Okay, yeah, if we're kind of trying to maybe do it like the DOTD report, where this is last month's business, and then you have the update in red. So with the 2017 road maintenance package, all work with the exception of some incidental punch list items are completed. Substantial completion will be issued and filed as soon as the last invoice is received. Should be in a few days. Table A, 2 pages back, is a summary of that. We are, just so everyone knows, looks like about $50,000 under the bid amount for that project. Moving on to the 2018 road maintenance package. The update in red, we finished task 1, issued task 2. If you recall, this contract was set up to where we could be a little more nimble, put the roads in there that we need to get fixed and not just bid them out with all the typical bid items. We wanted a little more flexibility. So we're writing task orders. So you're going to get a substantial completion on each task order. Like I said, task 2 has been issued on the following roads: Tallow Ridge, Abear Road, Lake Crossing Drive, Pipeline, Jeanette, Andrew Jackson, Bienville Court, and Plantation Boulevard.
Do we know when that work will start?
They should be underway currently.
Okay, good. I have a lot of friends on Andrew Jackson, Bienville Court, have been calling me
Okay.
about that. So
Any
they're doing
other-
a good job there. Thank you.
Okay, yeah,
They're
any
dropping
specific
off
questions?
culverts right now.
Sir?
I seen culverts are being dropped off at
Right.
some of the roads.
Yes, sir. Little process, you know, we've got pipe in those contracts for the contractor to install. Some of the stuff we can do as well, so probably ordering stuff and getting it to the site. So any specific questions on those roads, just feel free to shoot me an email throughout the weeks. Task 3 has also been issued and includes work in the following, on the following roads: Green Gable, Schick-Snyder, Township, Rena Melanson, Oak, and Guidry. And that's a summation, summary of those are in Table B, 2 pages back. If there's any questions on those, I'd be happy to answer them.
Yes, Councilman Floyd.
Yeah, Mike, if you go back to, let me find my place. 2017 road maintenance.
Yes, sir.
Coastal Bridge.
Yes, sir.
How they doing on that?
They're complete, like anything, just we kept a bind on them and we muscled through. But we're ending the contract and going to continue with the 2018 package.
Good deal.
So, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Okay, sure you guys are anxious about this LA 22 mill and overlay. It's been going on for a while now. Some key points in the last month's update. DOTD pushed a scheduled letting date to the end of June to get more time to address the comments. Ascension Parish paid the 20% match, $703,000, or just over that. And it was approved and paid to DOTD 4/25 of this year. So the update, the parish signed a revised PRR report as well as revised final plans on May 24th. We're in touch with DOTD, hoping they don't have any more changes, and that project can get out to bid by the end of July of this year. So working with DOTD, it's a process when you have these kind of projects with that are multi-agency. So end of July, if that changes, in the meantime, in between the next meeting, I'll make sure to give you guys an update. Okay, going to move on to the DOTD projects. Again, this is a report straight from DOTD. We've tried to put all the projects that definitely have to do with Ascension and any of them that go out to maybe the East Bank of Iberville Parish, we've included as well. And just for Lanyap, we put one in for Assumption Parish tonight.
Mr. Andler, I have a question
Okay.
for you. On the Highway 42 project,
Yes,
I
sir.
know I've heard that some work has been done for the people of Lachinier subdivision on their Exeter entrance. However, I got a call about 6 o'clock today saying that nothing has been done, so if we could follow up on that.
Absolutely.
They have a big pothole in the front where they're trying to get in and out of, and I know it comes and it goes, and it's a constant problem, but that's what it's going to be with construction. We have to realize that. But if you would, ask them to look into that for me.
I will. There may be somebody moving that rock to Autumn Leaves subdivision entrance, I'm not sure. But
Okay. Thank you.
I'll check on it
Councilman.
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, Mike, we talked before, and I appreciate a couple weeks ago you give me an update, but on that LA 431 realigning the curve between Weber City and the airline, that, if you could touch base back with the state, that project, that Coastal Bridge project, it looks like it's dead in the water. I mean, I see nothing moving on it for weeks.
Right.
you know, they'd reached a point where they opened the routine lane. I'm sure that's not the last layer on it because it's still grubbed. So, do you know anything that's going on that?
I don't. I'm in touch with the District 61 guys, Scott Lobel and Aaron Alisar, daily, 2 or 3 times a day, as a matter of fact. And we haven't specifically talked about that the last week or so. We'll, when I call them tomorrow on the Leshenier entrance, I'll talk with Scott about that and see what information he has on that. It's inching up. I think last time it was 40-something%. Seems like the last I heard they were getting on the site and doing a few things and getting off the site. So something seems to be going on. We'll get you an answer.
I pass there every day. I see no
Yes, sir.
equipment moving.
Yes, sir. It's
Also
frustrating.
on LA 431 at the 934 to go place intersection, it looked like they finally getting the utilities moved. I know that's slow as hell.
Yeah.
You know, to get utilities moved.
That's right.
They have to. There's a lot of organizations that they got to tap to get
Yes,
that
sir.
done. And so
Yes, sir. I saw the guys out there. They've been doing water lines for a while now, and
yeah,
I passed by there quite a bit.
and that's all I got.
Do we have any other questions on the highway report? I don't believe so, Mike.
Okay.
Councilman Lambert.
I do have something. I think I put in a request. Bayou Narcisse and 44, that red light is in bad. Everything's jammed up right there going towards Airline. The light's red and everybody's jammed up and the light turns green on Bayou Narcisse, but nobody can go anywhere because the traffic is jammed up, still waiting on the red light to turn on Airline left.
Yeah, that's 935. Been in talks with
Yeah.
Chris Ewing.
I turned it in, but it's people are really in an uproar with that right now.
Okay. There's some.
That has changed for some reason or other. It used to not be that way.
They-
It used to be when the light turned green going across Airline. As soon as it cleared the traffic, then that light turned green off of
Right.
935 where you can cross over or go where you need to go.
I'll check on that with Chris to see what was changed. I know there was some discussion about trying to improve that
It's not
Yeah.
working like you got it right
whole
now.
little intersection.
Yeah.
So I'll.
If they did something for better, it's not. So
Okay.
might want to let them know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You'll study on it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. No problem. The next kind of printed spreadsheet here is of the pavement management group. I'll kind of be brief with this. They have a number of 128 tasks. Still working with those guys to get all the material cost and the equipment costs and labor costs separated. That way we can kind of track this. But you'll look through there, there's a lot of pothole patching, coal mix, crack sealing. I think they're starting to do some chip seal in Donaldsonville. Full depth repairs, overlays, and some shoulder work. There's a big need. Those guys work hard, and it is hot. So kudos to those guys. They do a good job, but their workload never stops. It gets bigger every day. So any specific questions on that, I'll be happy to entertain them. If not, that concludes the report.
Councilman Dawson.
So Pelican Point, we were at a point and waiting on I think a plan, or we're waiting on Mr. Daniel, or do you know where we are right now on
For the-
putting at least together an estimate and definition of the problem
For
all the issues that we have with the erosion at the street drains?
subsurface, right?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been in the loop with Ron on that. I'll get with Alan and Ron and see where we're at.
You got William
We
coming.
got Mr.
tonight.
Daniel is.
He's right behind me, isn't he?
The short answer to your question, Councilman, is no, we haven't come up with complete estimates yet. But we actually haven't, we've gone out there and made some repairs and fixed some things, but we haven't looked at it in total, no, sir.
Okay. So am I incorrect that that was on the list to look at the root of the problem and try to see if we can come up with a solution?
It is definitely on the list. The list is, out there is that all of the problems are kind of related to drainage and issues, so we're trying to get a handle on that before we can move forward.
Okay.
You're meeting too late.
I just got a quick question about, I know it's yours, Pelican Point, but was this, they've had multiple issues out there. Is this just shoddy workmanship on original curb and gutter job, or what?
Well, it was a bad installation.
That's it.
Installation problem, especially around that storm drain.
This got brought to us on the last council
Yeah,
Yeah, this been going on for years.
years, and it's a very costly fix.
yeah.
Okay. No more questions on this item? Okay, moving on to item number 9, resolution authorizing the parish president to enter into a cooperative endeavor agreement with LA DOTD for the road transfer of LA 930, LA 934, parentheses, Gold Place Road only, and all state-owned frontage roads within Ascension Parish. Mike Enlow, but we do have a speaker on this item, Catherine Goupelt.
You called the speaker? I'm
Yes.
sorry.
That was not mine. I am Catherine Guppelt.
Oh, okay. It looked like 2 O's.
So you want to bring State Highway 930 or Parker Road and State Highway 934 or Gold Place Road as part of the parish system. This is not a good idea. When the council placed a half-cent sales tax on the ballot for roads, it was soundly defeated for good reason. Part of Lanes for Change, as it was called, was to take state roads into the parish system. When do we do not have sufficient funding to improve parish roads, how do you think taking in state roads, including all state-owned frontage roads, would improve our deficit? It won't. Do you think that showing preferential treatment on Highway 930 will not enrage thousands of citizens who currently drive on substandard roads and sit in traffic because of the irresponsible development you have encouraged over the past years? Finally, the citizens of Ascension have sued the council and 4 members of the Planning Commission for their approval of Jamestown Crossing and the failure to follow our codes in respect to development. This is on Highway 930. Will the judge be persuaded that Highway 930 will soon be widened should the parish take responsibility? If your past performance on improvements to Roddy Road are any indication, not even the citizens could be persuaded that our parish government can take care of business. Taking in these state roads may not help Ascension as a whole, but it would certainly benefit anyone wanting to sell property on Highway 930 for subdivision development now, wouldn't it? Including Councilwoman Casso and her relatives. In politics, perception is everything. Giving a sweetheart deal for property owners on Highway 930 who are selling property for Jamestown Crossing appears to be special treatment for at least one member of this council. Who else on the council will benefit? Part of this road is in District 7. Will Chairman Lawler gain anything from this acquisition of state roads? District 7's previous councilman supported this idea. He lost his election, and he left the parish. The people can see through your monkey business. If you're contemplating a road tax anytime soon, don't expect the people to support it. If you take these roads in, it will increase our transportation deficit. More roads to fix and never enough dollars to do the work. It's a bad idea. Don't repeat the mistakes of the past. There's a lot to lose, including elections next year. Thank you.
Comments on this? Unless you...
No, go ahead. Councilman Lambert.
Mr. Enlow, I got a couple questions, I guess.
You want to let me do his presentation?
Let him go ahead.
Sure, yeah, I was going to mention a few points. Back in, from my understanding, with talking with now Senator Eddie Lambert, this project has been discussed probably quite some time before 07 and 08. And it was he told me that President Martinez at the time and himself, when he was a representative, pushed hard to get this project going. So this project has been in the works. DOTD started on it in 08 or 09. They finished up the plans, the design plans, which are at 95%. In the spring of 2017, they've spent $3.3 $1.86 million purchasing right-of-way, 81 parcels. We're taking over 930. We are taking the repair credit now and going to put that towards construction. We're going to eliminate $2 million worth of utility conflict by redesigning a high-pressure gas pipe conflict. And we're going to get this project out to construction, hopefully by the fall of 2019. Taking this road on is going to allow us to complete the design on 2 roundabouts, Henry and 930, and Parish Road 929 and 930, almost immediately. We've started design, and we can get those put into construction before we safety widen in Henry and 930. So that's getting DOTD out of our way to do projects and paying for them with local tax dollars. That's the ancillary benefit to owning this road. There's a lot more information. I'll be happy to answer it.
Councilman Lambert?
Yeah. To start off with, if the state spent $3.8 million in buying parcels, for this road.
Yes, sir.
From what I can understand, Governor Edwards came in and vetoed some line items that was on this to resurface this road or reconstruct it. So that's where it was left.
Safety improve it.
So basically, the parish is coming in now to bail them out, and like we do a lot of times. Just like we did on Joey Severio. We took in Joey Severio. They have the right-of-ways there from 933 all the way to 931.
Mm-hmm.
We took Joey Severio in. They resurfaced the road, and now it's on move ascension forward to widen the road. And the road was resurfaced less than 10. I couldn't tell you exactly how long that surface it was been, and now we're fixing to re-widen it. And I do a lot of shoulder work, especially where the large ditch is on closer to 933. I have a little problem taking in state roads that's not up to standards. Definitely 930 is not up to standards. I know we're getting some credits, but do the credits overcome in the long run, when the parish has got to maintain these roads? Look, we already resurfacing Joey Severio less than 10 years. Them credits are gone. They resurfaced it, got it up to par. And in the Move Ascension Forward program, yeah, this road may be on the system, but it's on the second phase. It's not on the first phase. I want to see the first phase of this project get completed, and we might have some hidden costs. I'm sure we're going to have some hidden costs with all these other projects there. I would like to see this completed before we take in any state highways. 1.6 million is coming out of what fund? The Move Ascension Forward Fund?
We've actually, you want me to answer that?
Yeah.
So we've got 3 ways we can, that's the delta in the construction cost. So we can pay for it with Move Ascension dollars. We have a $9.3 million CRPC credit that we can take out of and put towards it. And by resolution.
Explain the $9.3 million credit.
So there was a $9.3 million credit from the state transportation, surface transportation program, which is less than 200K. That's less than 200,000 people. It's a program by CRPC to where it sends federal money to the local.
So we have 9.3 million in a fund?
From 2014 to 15, the submission of projects. And those funds were supposed to be used on Roddy and Henry. Okay, so we've moved that money off of Roddy and Henry and used local money. We have that credit. We're authorized to use that anywhere in Ascension Parish on roads that qualify.
And talking about Roddy, we got a massive widening project on Roddy.
Yeah, so
starting all the way from 933 on Joey Severio, all the way to Airline Highway.
Right.
I know we got one little section that's done already. But,
Yeah.
you know, looking at the road that we did from 933 to 42, it took around 4 to 5 million plus just for that little section. We have several other sections. Do you have a cost of what these roads with right-of-way movement and utilities, I mean, right-of-way purchasing and utilities?
Yes.
Relocation, because that was very costly on them projects.
Right, we're pushing through. We've got, I didn't give you guys an update on the Move Ascension portion of the report, and I apologize. 931 and 933, we are scaling back on doing that widening in totality. We've found by using the local transportation safety plan, specific locations that we can improve realignment of the 931 intersection, Norwood Road, site distance, and another location. So we have that, we're
not widening the whole stretch.
we're not widening the whole
Okay,
stretch.
So I wasn't aware
We're
of that.
yeah, and I apologize.
Yeah.
It was in the report that
Okay.
I got too excited about the agenda items too. So we are scaling back and rescoping that project. We have preliminary design done. We're going to halt that and rescope it to do, like I said, those intersection realignment and a few other spot locations that we feel can eliminate a lot or help out with safety.
Did you come up with a cost roughly on that, to do that, on that section?
Right now, I wouldn't feel comfortable.
Okay.
I can get back to you with some, we're getting close. If you look at this,
You know,
The
but
spreadsheet?
the program that we've had in the past, and I know, when we take in a state highway, that they put it up to standards.
Yes, sir.
And then, they give us credits and
Yes, sir.
we take it in. And then the next time it needs service, them credits will help pay for it. But taking in 930, we're not doing that.
right,
They're not resurfacing up to standards, and we're taking it in like is. And, you know, we don't know what we're gonna run into. I know the total design you said was 95%, but what unhidden costs we're gonna have there?
Yeah, well, we've looked at it quite a bit. I don't think there's gonna be many hidden costs. We found the hidden cost, which was the DOTD typically designs stuff without really paying mind to going outside of their comfort zone. They
And
designed a
drainage-
standard, so that
Drainage
utility.
covers, all the driveway covers, all that calculated in the
Right.
expense?
Yeah, that's in the construction cost estimate from DOTD, and we vetted that. It's on
They had some-
8.5.
They had some drainage issues on that highway, so.
Yes, sir. We, part of the deal, well, not the deal, the negotiation we went in with DOTD with, and that's been going on since probably, we had our first sit-down with Dr. Calavoda, I think in March, March, and brought to him a plan to move some safety credits around and put that towards the road. Also to give us more than a mill and overlay credit for 930. But part of the road transfer program that they have, the bylaws or however that policy is written, it won't allow them to give us any more money than for the bringing it back up to very good standards. So instead of having them mill and overlay the road as it exists, it would be a huge waste of money if we went back next year and went into construction to get it widened to 11-foot lanes, 4-foot shoulders, shallow ditches. So that's why we're taking the credit on that one only.
I
Gold
guess-
Place Road, they're going to fix some spots on Gold Place. And then there's 10 frontage roads that's in this resolution, a lot of which I didn't even know we had. There's 10 frontage roads, adds up to about 2.8 million, I think. The total combined credit we're getting is 4.8 million over 3 years. Those frontage roads, I think all but except maybe 5 of them are going to be ours. The other 5, they're giving us money, the credits for it, and we are giving them, they're keeping servitude on them, and that's for any future interchanges that may come in and around the 74 area, things like that. So it's a pretty good deal on the frontage roads. I'd say it's a pretty good deal overall, and it's going to allow us to get this project done. The way I'm looking at it, this is it's tax dollars. I live on off Highway 42. I use 930 quite a bit. It's tax dollars. We're going to fix it or we're not. The governor already made his decision.
It's tax dollars, but a lot of people, you know.
I understand.
are understanding there's
I understand.
state tax dollars and there's parish tax dollars. You know, every gallon of gasoline we buy here, 20-something cents
Yes, sir.
goes to transportation, and the people are asking, where's that money at, you know, and we using parish dollars, tax dollars, where it should be state
Yeah.
tax dollars.
I understand. I'd like to throw in, we kind of control our own destiny a little
Same
more this
thing for
way.
Highway 42, we spending, what, 12 to 15 million of parish tax dollars. Highway 73, we spent parish tax, you know, on 73, you know. A lot of turn lanes we do, and which has helped.
Yes, sir.
All 4 turn lanes, you know, that's where your bottlenecks at. Just
Yes,
widening the road, you don't have capacity. You ain't helping the capacity. Your turn lanes and, you know, roundabouts is the big,
Yes, sir.
to move the bottleneck.
Tough decisions, Councilman. I'm paid to bring you guys these
I got you.
options, and I
Oh, I
appreciate the
understand,
input.
I understand, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate the input.
Councilman Dawson, I'll take it from the end.
Well, I'm kind of new to this, Mike, so
Yes, sir.
I'd like to kind of go back to the first grade, if you will. So,
Ooh,
you know, I'm seeing the 4.8 million, 'cause is there somewhere that we've actually put all these numbers together and it says, you know, this is what we're given and this is what we're getting?
It's, do you have the resolution,
Yeah, I do.
in front of you? If you turn to, I guess the, 1, 2,
We got the resolution.
3, the fourth page, I'm sorry. In the middle of the page says condition 2.
Right here. I'll go over with you. It's the fourth page.
Page
So that's
number.
the,
Oh, fourth page, okay. I got it.
provide, that's the
4.8.
total amount we're gonna get within 3 fiscal years. Their fiscal year starts July 1. So we're getting immediately right now 1.7 million, which is the credit, for 9/30 this year, immediately upon signing the CEA. Okay? Next fiscal year starts in July, and they're gonna break the remainder of that money, the $3 million within those 3 fiscal years. So starting July, we'll get a payment.
Okay, and it's not cash money, though. It's, tell me how we can use this.
Big money.
It's a
Am I-
check. They're-
Oh, it's a check, okay, because at one
We
time.
don't,
I
we don't
thought-
deal in cash.
Well, I was thinking at one time that it was on building future roads.
It was explained to me that
The original program.
the revised-
They just changed
that
it.
would do that.
Okay.
road transfer, there's a
But
whole
this is
booklet
gonna
on this
actually
program.
be money that they're gonna, does that money have
Yes,
to
sir.
be, is that money at risk in any way?
No,
Do you
sir.
know?
Not that I'm aware of. I'll go back, there's a whole written policy on it, but
There are a lot of 25 million a year. And that is, it comes, if I understand, it comes from the federal government, that's where this program comes from, and they get it every year. The key, go ahead.
well, I didn't want to interrupt, but I have
can.
to tell you, you know, President Martinez had talked to Secretary Wilson, and I give him credit for helping us push this, because they saw that there's within that 25 million, they can't go over, so they're always going to be under by crumbs, if you will, I guess. So that's what we're doing. We're going capturing those crumbs and adding it up to 5 million over the course of 3 years. So kudos to the parish president and Secretary Wilson. We made lemonade out of lemons, if you will. Senator Eddie Lambert is on board with getting this road completed, and so is Representative Bacala. I appreciate their help. They were in the meeting with us as well at the state capitol. So
So we're gonna take the 1.7 and what are we gonna do with that?
we're going to put it to the construction of 930.
And what's the total cost?
8.5 million. You have 4 million in utility relocation. $2 million of that 4.5 will be eliminated with a redesign of a utility conflict. Like I said, a high-pressure gas line that we can design around. It's called value engineering. We're going to provide that back to DOTD. They've agreed to evaluate that value engineering report and agree, if it merits, agree with it, sign, seal the plans. We sign the cooperative endeavor agreement. We get the road transferred to us and put it out to construction or a clearing and grubbing and utility relocation. So that brings the construction to 6.5 million. And then we're looking at putting this credit of $4.8 million towards that. The delta, as we talked about, Councilman Lambert, the 1.6 is going to be move ascension funds, CRPC credit, or
Or we can
impact fee.
impact fee.
So what exactly are you going to do to 930? Is it widening only?
We are going to, I like to call it safety widening. It is making the road 11-foot lanes, I think 4-foot shoulders, paved shoulders, or 2-foot paved, 2-foot slope. Easily, the four slopes and the back slopes of the ditches are going to be graded out. There's going to be
It's open ditches. It's going
open
to be
ditches, yes,
open
sir.
ditches.
Yes, sir. It's a
And-
realignment of the curve right there near
Yeah, there's
the
a
Akins
right
property.
curve, a right turn in that highway, 90-degree
Yeah.
angle, that will be eliminated.
Okay.
It crosses Henry Road, which is designed for safety widening currently, and it terminates, the design of this project terminates at Parish Road 929.
Mhm.
And at those two, Henry Road and 929 is where the roundabouts, we have issued task orders as of May 31st.
Did I hear you correctly that all the right-of-way has been obtained?
Yes, sir. That was $3.8 million, 81 parcels. And that's information. that came
And the
from
engineering has been done by their contractors
I'm not, I think it was done in-house.
in-house? Okay.
In-house, that may be why the utility, that little utility conflict wasn't identified. They may not have had the expertise looking at that, and it's something we identified immediately. It will cost us a task order for one of our consultants to look at that, but that's around $75,000 is what we've gotten estimates on. We've communicated with the pipeline company, and they're in agreement that this is doable.
So the estimates for the construction, who did that? The
DOTD.
cost, the DOT, this is their estimate?
Yes.
And when was it done, do you know?
I would imagine it was done sometime in spring of 2017. That's when the design was completed. And that just the construction cost $4.5 million. And like I said, the utility relocations anywhere around $4 million. And so that's where you get the 8.5.
The other thing that I see on here, Mike, if I look at this table, and it shows the current pavement condition, and most of the roads below the line in that table have a question mark on that.
Okay, those are the frontage roads, yes, sir. I see that.
So what? We don't know the condition?
I would imagine that because they're simply going to mill and overlay and bring them back up to the very good condition, that's maybe why they don't have that in there.
May not be applicable.
Some of these, like you see,
Redo 'em.
point,
We'll
Okay.
redo them anyway.
Okay.
0.08 miles, 0.12, 0.17. There's a good little chunk here, these frontage roads. I mean, we're getting, and like I said, half of them, they're maintaining servitude on them. So they're giving us money, and then they're keeping the servitude and liability on those roads, for half those frontage roads.
So do they give us a schedule on the completion of this?
Not yet, not yet. I can talk with the district upon execution of this resolution and get that information. I'll have it for you next council meeting, if you wish.
Yeah, go ahead, because I don't know what to ask next.
Councilman Lambert.
I'm looking at the credits, it says 40 years of maintenance. And everybody up here that's been on the council for a little while knows that a road is not gonna last you 40 years. And once we use up these credits, when that road comes back for resurfacing or repairing, it's on the parish then. State does not own it anymore. We don't have a lot of parish roads that's this magnitude, $5-6 million. So the more of these state highways, up front, you're getting a lot of credits in. You're getting some money to rebuild them then, but down the road, what's gonna happen? Not to us guys. We'll be gone from here. It'll be our grandkids and kids burdened with repairing some major roads.
I won't be dead.
I didn't say dead. We won't be up here. But, that's a major repairs that's gonna be needed. And I brought that up when we took in the first road. And we're already repairing it less than 10 years. So just a heads up, you know, after this credits that you're getting right now is done, because they're expecting that road to last 40 years right here. 40 years of maintenance. They're not gonna last 40 years. We get 10 to 15 if we're lucky out of these roads. And
I
then,
guess is that,
and then we have to take them over.
am I not correct that the 40 years, they're paying us for 40 years of,
Maintenance.
is maintenance, is
40
that?
years of maintenance, that's right.
Okay.
You're getting it all up front though.
What they consider within their budget of what is 40 years.
But once you use it up front to do this, that's it.
Yeah, I got that, yeah, I understand.
And our budget for roads right now in the parish is not, you know, $3 or $4 million a year, you know. When you start taking in some state highways and you get one of them that's gonna cost you 6 to refurbish down the road, you know, it's gonna hurt. So, just a heads up.
Well, like US 61, you know, I thought that was a federal,
I think it's listed as federal. US 61 and the interstate.
Increase and no impact fees.
There goes that
Keep 'em
1.5.
What, are you looking at,
That'd be
the
great.
state route where it says,
well, I'm looking at
column?
this table, and they're paying
That's
us like $115,000 for
number 7?
US 61.
I think
So is
that,
that .2, that's just .26 miles,
Right.
but,
so there's a map, behind these, there's 3 maps, and the last one is in, the West Bank. I think the second one may be beneficial, and if you kind of look in there, it'll say FR-8, FR-7. So, FR-8, if anybody knows in Prairieville across, or down the street from, across from DMC, there's a Pierce Foundry and Annie Florist at the service road there. So that's one of the frontage roads that'll be redone. But they're small roads that are, you know, may seem inconspicuous. We drive it every day. We don't notice it. You don't really take them to go anywhere.
I'm done.
I'll make a motion to send it to the full council.
Before we get that far, do we have a second?
Yeah, I'll second that.
We have a second. We have an objection. I'd like to add something to this, though. It's important because Highway 930 sits at Prairieville Middle School. It bypasses right in front of Prairieville Middle School. There was a fatality there several
Yes,
years
sir.
ago. Nobody asked whether, in that fatality, whether it was a state road or a parish road. It is a dangerous road. We have a lot of dangerous roads. We can continue to sit around on our hands in our parish and say, you know what, that's the state's problem. But every time there's a fatality, nobody says, oh, it's a parish road, it's a state road. Oh, it's only a state road, so let's not worry about it. That's a problem. We can take a position that we're going to let the state wait and do everything, but they've made it clear to us they don't have the funding for it right now. They're not going to get to this road at any time soon. So we're going to take the bull by the horns and try and fix this thing. And what this is also allowing us to do is to add 2 roundabouts, which will move traffic. We'll see in a moment that when those 2 roundabouts are connected to additional roundabouts, we're creating a grid where people will be able to move around the parish with a lot less traffic. Its capacity is one thing to be measured, but people can drive better, they can drive faster, and they can drive more safely on a widened road that doesn't have a 90-degree angle in the middle of it. That slows down traffic. You want people to move through, you allow people to drive on a road that is relatively straight, wide enough to drive safely. Every person that drives a school bus in this parish, the majority of them drive down 930. The parents that go to Prairieville Middle, the teachers that work there, all the families that travel on that road all the time, it's a dangerous highway. We have an opportunity to do something to fix it. Now, we're getting a lot of money in this, and we can put it to good use. Yes, we have a lot of other needs, and we've got a lot of other roads out there, and we've got a lot of maintenance that goes on. But for the first time in years, we've done some really big things in maintenance. We've started a chip seal program and a crack sealing program, which is going to add life to our roads. In the past, we've done a lot of overlays, and we've done a lot of pothole fixing, which tends to wear out quicker. But a chip seal, when you put a chip seal on a road, that can give 8 to 10 more years of life to that road, extending the life of it. So in the long term, reducing maintenance costs. When you do a crack seal, you go through, you prevent the water from getting in there. That prevents potholes. So you don't have to go out there and do all the pothole fixing. That lasts a lot longer than a pothole being fixed. So we're putting in the time and the effort to do the maintenance on some of the roads, that those will last longer. But this is an opportunity for safety. This is, I think, a great opportunity for safety. We have a lot of people, and I can tell you, Councilman Lambert and I have discussed this, and it's great to discuss things with people that you may disagree with. It's not personal, and it's a difference of philosophy. I think this is a great thing that we're doing, and I respect Councilman Lambert's position. But I think this is a great thing that we're going to move forward to the council. We can do a lot with this.
I agree. I've spoken with Councilman Lambert about 9:30, I think, a few weeks ago, and we had a pretty good discussion about it. He's been here a while, so
19 years.
it is good to get your perspective on things. And but again, paid to bring you guys some solutions to problems, and I guess that's why you guys make the big bucks.
And I also want to say thank you. I know y'all said it before, but Representative at the time, Senator Eddie Lambert, has been working on this since 2007.
Yes.
President Tommy Martinez has worked on this. William Daniel, he came with us to the Capitol to meet with Representative Bacala also, who helped with this. Dr. Sean Wilson. I mean, these people put in a lot of time and
Josh
effort.
Hollins, Dr. Wilson's right hand. He lives out here in Prairieville. And,
Josh worked his butt off on this,
and he's great.
So I mean, we really owe a great amount of gratitude to them for the work that they put into it. You know, I'm not going to listen to all this conspiracy theory. This thing's been going on since 2007. That's the fact of the matter. This is associated with nothing else, and I get tired of hearing that. You know, you're not going to besmirch the reputation of Representative Bacala or Senator Eddie Lambert, who've been working on this for years, because they knew it was a safety issue. They were willing to stick their necks out and do something about it. Thank them very much.
Yes, sir.
And also our current president, President Matassa, has worked hard on this for us also. Thank you. We do have objection to it, so we'll do a roll call vote. We never call out each member's name.
Yeah,
Pull
yes.
the microphone down first.
Pull the mic down.
There you go. Hear you.
Randy Kluart,
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Okay. This motion is passed. This resolution is sent to the full council with a vote 3-1. Thank you, everybody, very much.
Thank you, guys.
Moving on to item number 10, ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to acquire right-of-way required to construct the Roddy Road corridor safety widenings.
Okay, this is,
We have a motion, and we have a second.
Go ahead, explain it.
Do you want to?
there's I
I
believe
want you to
there's-
do an overview of the whole thing, and then we'll jump into each one of these and probably move through them quickly. But for the public's consumption, I think it's good to see what we've got going on and know where the money's being spent and why.
We've got one for each of the projects that we have tasked out currently. There is numbers, item number 10 through 19. Each one of these is a programmatic thing, and it's granting the parish president to acquire the right-of-way. I'm sorry, we were given approval by the legal for Ascension Parish to be able to request by ordinance the right-of-way for each Move Ascension project as a project. And so you'll see those listed, Roddy Road, the 3 segments. Councilman Lambert, I know we discussed that. There are some changes to it, but this is part of the program to keep everything moving, and so we can keep fighting the fight on these. So there's 9 of them in front of you, and they're all the same, just different project names.
Okay, I believe, is this the map that goes with that?
No.
No, wrong map.
No, this is
No,
a
I had
map
the
of
wrong
all the
one.
Move Ascension projects.
Oh, okay.
And other projects going on in the parish.
Okay, so now that we have a brief understanding of what these right-of-ways are, we can move through them rather quickly unless we have any discussion on each
Well, these
individual
are
one.
all move ascension right away.
They're all move ascension right-of-ways.
Phase one move ascension.
Correct.
Can we do them all together?
No, since they're individual ordinances, we have to do each one individually, but I'll move through them pretty quickly. So we have a motion and a second on item number 10. Any discussion? Any objection? The motion was made by Councilman Kluart. Okay, I wasn't sure who said it.
Seconded.
Okay. Any discussion? Any objection? None. So moved. Item number 11, ordinance requesting authority be granted to the parish president to acquire right-of-way required to construct Henry Road safety widening. We have a motion by Councilman Kluart and a second by Councilman Lambert. Any objection? None. So moved. Item number 12, ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to require right-of-way acquired to construct Parish Road 929 at Parker Road roundabout.
Motion.
We have a motion
Second.
and a second. Item number 13, ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to acquire the right-of-way required to construct the Seabro safety widening.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman
Second.
Lambert and a second by Councilman Lawson. Any objection? None. So moved. Item number 14, ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to acquire right-of-way required to construct the LA 73 turn lanes, Oakland, Brown, and Henry roads. We have a motion and a second. Any objection? None. So moved. Number 15, ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to acquire right-of-way required to construct US 71 at Germany intersection.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Dawson and a second by Councilman Kluart. Any objection? None. So moved. Ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to acquire right-of-way required to construct Parish Road 929 at Bro Roundabout.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman
Second.
Lambert, second by Councilman Dawson. Any objection? None. So moved. Item number 17, ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to acquire the right-of-way required to construct Bro Road at Germany Road Roundabout.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Dawson and a second by Councilman Kluart. Any objection? None. So moved. Item number 18, ordinance requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to require right-of-way required to construct the LA 930 at Henry Road Roundabout.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Lambert, second by Councilman Kluart. Any objection? None. So moved. Ordinance 19, requesting authority to be granted to the parish president to acquire right-of-way required to construct Parish Road 929 at Louisiana Highway 930 roundabout.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Lambert, a second by Councilman Dawson. Any objection? None. So moved. Number 20, authorization for Michael Enlow, Assistant DPW Director, to execute any and all documents related to right-of-way acquisition for the Move Essential program, with the exception of the sale documents and administrative settlements exceeding 10% above fair market value as established by an appraisal report.
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Lambert and a second by Councilman Couillard. Discussion.
Mike, real quick.
Yes, sir.
It's a little funny. Tell us what you're asking for right here.
These are part of the,
That you're gonna.
a lot of paperwork
You don't
involved.
want to hold up everything. You want some latitude to move forward.
That's
Within
correct,
certain
and
boundaries.
the important ones are going to be signed by the parish president, which are the sale documents and the administrative settlements exceeding 10% above fair market value. So any of the other documents, you guys give me the
Yeah.
authority to sign. It's a lot of paperwork for these right away.
And real quickly, the firms that's securing all this right away for us.
GCR. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any objection?
One quick.
We have a question by
Just a
Councilman
just
Lambert.
quick. When are they starting negotiation with this?
Well, I'll have you know that we've gotten two
Just to give us a-
approvals on, they've already started. We've
Okay.
gotten two
Well, that's what-
approvals on the Babin Road Bridge replacement. There's 5 properties, and we've gotten 2 people. They already said, where's our check? I've got the sale documents ready for President Matassek
Okay.
to,
In case
Move-
people
moving
start
along.
asking, when they see this.
right. I've been leaving your business card with everybody that's been angry about the new projects, so you may have been getting calls, I'm not sure.
Mr. Arnold, with regard to this, is this associated with another agenda item? We have a motion and a second. Any objection? None. Was it-
Can I mention that, though?
Yeah.
We were with it, right, didn't we?
It's the
No, I
same
think
map.
he didn't go through that yet.
I didn't go through the Move Ascension update, the same map we have presented here. You know, you were, I wanted to put this up, it's something, we didn't come up with the map last minute, but the idea to put it on this, I guess, easel board.
cool.
I'm not good at arts and crafts time, but I wanted everybody in the audience to see the projects. The CPEX meeting on last week, everybody was screaming about transportation improvements. And wanted to give everybody a chance to see these. Move Ascension website's up and running. But hopefully once we get past all the design and boring stuff and get into some orange barrels, people will start taking notice. So thanks for pointing that out.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 21, change order 1, balancing change order for ENG-18-012, 2018 asphalt overlay and reconstruction, task 1.
Balancing change order to the existing 2018 contract with RJ Daigle.
We have a motion and a second. Any objection? Any discussion? None, so moved. Item number 22, substantial completion for 2018 asphalt overlay reconstruction, task 1.
Again, this is what I explained earlier. We're going with task.
We have a motion by Councilman Lambert
Second.
and a second by Councilman Cluart.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Any objection? None, so moved. Motion to adjourn, anyone?
Motion.
We've got a motion and a second.
Good evening.
Adjourn.
Thank you.